Hello everyone and welcome to Klis's Mic Drop. We're out here at the 49ers facility in Santa Clara. In the background here, Levi's Stadium. The Broncos and the 49ers did match up, and what happens is on one field you got number one Broncos offense against the number one 49ers defense. The other field you've got the number one Broncos defense against the 49ers number one offense. What I saw early on, it looked like the Broncos had the better of it, I think, all the way around. At the end, I know in the last two periods, which were move the ball, the 49ers, Brock Purdy threw a touchdown pass to Pearsall, beat Jahdae Barron for that one. And on the Broncos side of the field, the Broncos didn't score. Looking at Bo Nix, I thought Bo at times found his rhythm, had some nice completions to Franklin for one, for sure. The other thing I noticed today, Tyler Bidet was in there at the very end, 2-minute drill. All right, 2 minute, you need 3 points to tie, a touchdown to win it, and Bidet had every snap. Do not count out Tyler Bidet for being a number 3 running back behind R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. That's going to be the top two, but I thought Jaleel had the number 3 running back spot locked up. But clearly Bidet is going to get a shot. I still think Jaleel might be the leader. We'll see on Saturday night. But Mike McGlinchey was talking about, he thought that Broncos offense took it to the 49ers defense from the jump, played real physical. They did run the ball well early. I thought Harvey had some nice runs. Bidet had some nice runs, and Blake Watson had some nice runs. It's looking tough right now for Audric Estime. He's definitely on the outside looking in as far as landing a roster spot this year, the 5th-round pick who was drafted just last year. On defense, Pat Surtain won his one-on-ones. He still looked real good. Riley Moss, he had mostly a good day. Every now and then he'd get beat, but that happens. I think it's going to be tough news that Matt Henningsen went down, and I hear that they fear some tough injury news there for Matt, who played a lot his first 2 years, didn't play at all his third year, came back this year and was looking forward to adding some depth, but he got his ankle rolled up and had to be carted off. Looks like it could be a serious injury for Matt Henningsen. Other than that, Brandon Jones wasn't out here today, and that's a little concerning. Sean Payton wouldn't give us an update there, so hopefully Brandon Jones is okay. But it was a 2.5-hour grueling, grinding, like 40 to 50 reps each, and the joint practice went real well. And I tell you, one guy that we talked to about this, a familiar name with the Broncos, John Lynch. He's a Ring of Famer safety, and now the general manager for the 49ers. Had a lot of success. They've been to a couple Super Bowls, and we talked to John Lynch about not only Denver and his job with the San Francisco 49ers, but how to build a roster, the fact that Bo isn't getting paid like the 49ers had to pay Brock Purdy, the quarterback, and then what he thinks about the Broncos in 2025. It still give you mixed feelings when the two go at it right here?
Well, it's great to see people like yourself, and I'm looking at Bo over here with the media, and I know all these people, and a lot of familiar faces still on the staff. There's been a lot of overhaul, but a lot of the same, the Patrick Smyths of the world, and Chip Conways, and Flip, and in equipment, all those guys. So a lot of familiar faces. Such a great organization. Denver was such a great part of our lives as a family. So we got such fond memories, and I don't know, everyone loves being a Bronco. Everyone loves living in Denver, and so there is always a connection there. And now you guys have half our team over there in Denver too. So that's right. It extends. I'm looking at Hufanga right here, and a lot of good players from our place that are now with the Broncos.
I think you couldn't keep a lot of the good players because of expenses. Is this kind of a situation where you had to pay your quarterback?
Yeah.
And the Broncos are kind of in a window where they don't have to pay their quarterback. That matters in building a roster, doesn't it?
It sure does. Yeah. It sure does. Now, it's a good problem to have to pay your quarterback, because it means you have one worthy of being paid.
Yeah.
And we certainly have that with Brock Purdy. We're happy to do so, but it does change things. And we've been hitting the pedal, the accelerator for a while. And at some point, you got to And we also didn't want to become an older team, and we were doing that. We were getting older, and so you got to rely on the draft. We had 11 picks this year. We think we did good in the draft, but you never know. So it's great to see, I see McGlinchey, I see Hufunga, Greenlaw. Yeah. These are some really, DJ Jones, some really good people and really good players. So Broncos are, they're doing well, and that their roster, it's well constructed, well put together, and going to be really formidable.
I was just going to ask, you had Sean Payton kind of opened everybody's eyes by saying he thinks his team can win a Super Bowl this year. That good?
They're certainly in that conversation. Yeah. I mean, Mike Shanahan used to say it well, all you want in this league is a chance. Yeah. And I don't know what some people will say it's 5 teams every year. I think it's probably a little more than that. They're certainly one of those that fit in that mold. Now, even when you're really good, we've been really good for a while. We've gotten there twice. We haven't paid it off, but it's still hard. Injuries, a lot of things have to stack up, but you want a chance. That team, certainly the Broncos this year, as I see it constructed, certainly have a chance.
Everybody always asks who won the joint practice. Yeah. You remember those days, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think had the better of it
Well,
today?
What I do know is I think we've gotten smarter by doing one day, because it used to be who won, and both teams would think they won. Both coaches would say, "You gonna let them do that to you? Or let's go get them tomorrow." On the second day, all it is fighting. Yeah. So we decided, and the Broncos decided, let's do one. I think it was crisp. I think both teams had their moments. I watched more of our offense. Thought up front, your D-line was really good. We made some plays. They made some plays. What happened on the other field, I'll catch on the film.
Sean Payton was asked about the joint practice today. He spent most of his time, in fact, all of his time on the offensive end, of course, as the play caller. It was interesting what he said. He was asked about how he thought the team did. He was pleased with the work. He was glad that they had this joint practice. It's invaluable to have that many reps for your first and second team offense in particular. But he stopped short of talking about the performance. He made it sound like they got a lot of work to do.
Overall, I was pleased with the work we got, and both sides, I thought, handled themselves well. It was competitive. And yet, we got a ton of situational work, 2-minute red zone, third down, a lot of teamwork. So a lot of players getting a lot of work.
Bo Nix, again, here's been Bo during training camp. He looked fantastic through the first 8 training camp practices. No interceptions, taking charge, great operation, in and out of the huddle, leader. And then he got in a little glitch where he started throwing a couple picks, and so maybe a mid-camp slump. Maybe he was trying to do some things. And then today was almost a reflection of that in the joint practice. He had some periods where he really got in rhythm, threw the ball well. Other times when he didn't have his feet set, he was just using all arm, and the ball would sink on him a little bit. So, but still, uneven, however it was for Bo. He welcomes that Sean Payton, first of all, calls him a top 4 or 5 quarterback, and also that Sean Payton is talking Super Bowl with this team.
Well, it should be your goal too. We should all be wanting to go win a Super Bowl. If we're not trying to win a Super Bowl, why are we here? If you're not trying to be the best of the best in your particular area, ours is the NFL, the National Football League. I believe that's why you go out there and play the game. You go out there to play the game to be the best. Beat the best, and I feel good about our team, but that is not just thrown around. That's it's not easy to do, obviously, and we got a lot of work to go.
So as we wrap up Klis's mic drop, we're standing right outside here, Levi Stadium, where the Broncos will play a preseason game on Saturday. And according to Sean Payton, the big news is he expects to be back here in February for the Super Bowl. I tell you, and all the players are doubling down on it. I'm just not sure that was the correct thing for Sean Payton to do, because now, here it is, we've had 3 press conferences, and the press conferences have all been about Sean Payton saying that they got a chance to win the Super Bowl. They do have a good team, but from what we saw at the joint practice today, they're not a Super Bowl team yet. They got a long way to go. They could get there, no doubt about it. They have to stay healthy. But now that's the expectation, and anything short, I don't know, might be considered a disappointment. I know I'm old school. You know, you don't talk like that. You let the play do the talking. But we'll see how it works out. Sean Payton has his own unique methods. We know he's been a successful head coach in this league. We'll see if this was the right thing for him to do. He's got the players behind him, and I know there's a lot of excitement around Broncos country. Just maybe they could have held off till mid-season before making such proclamations. But Broncos got their work in. They played against a good 49ers team, which is somewhat rebuilding, and but they still got a lot of talent over there. See what happens on Saturday in the preseason game. Appreciate you tuning in here to Klis's Mic Drop. We'll do this again next week, where the Broncos will have a joint practice against the Arizona Cardinals at the Broncos facility called Broncos Park. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week.